Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Musso. I'm going to be going over some of the structures of the eye in the final lab of the semester, the dissection of the cow eye. As you can see here, other than my list, I have no other supplementary information to help me with this lab. So let's get started. So I dissected the eye. I think it's a little easier to see some of the structures, even the exterior structures when it's dissected. So we'll start with cranial nerve 2, the optic nerve. It's going to be this chunk of tissue right here. You can see from the back as well. It's slippery. Optic nerve. The extrinsic eye muscles are going to be these muscles around the eye. You can see it in the other eye as well, right here. And these move and position the eye as needed so that you can see in different directions and stuff. The cornea is going to be this semi-opaque membrane right here. And then the sclera is all this white tissue right here. Next, we're going to have the anterior chamber. Anterior chamber. If you look here, you can see the sclera, the iris and the cornea. This little gap, this little space where my tweezers are right now, that's going to be the anterior chamber, the chamber, the space in between the cornea and the iris. So we have the pupil, which you can see right there, that gap, that little small gap in the middle, that's going to be the pupil. And then finally we have the iris, which is right here, that black tissue right there. And that constricts or dilates as necessary to let more or less light in. The lens is this little ball right here. It's the lens. And then the retina is back here. That's where the photoreceptors are. And then the choroid is directly behind the retina. Okay? So, for the questions 1 and 5, I demonstrated and answered in the video with my wife as a subject, but I'll answer questions 2 through 4 here. I think it is a little bit easier to describe. So, first, question number 2, through which structures, opening, and chambers does the light pass in order to reach the retina? First, light passes through the cornea right here, then through the anterior chamber, through the pupil, hole in the center, through the lens where it's focused onto the retina, through the lens, and then finally through the vitreous chamber where it's focused onto the retina back here. The structures that serve as the sensor in the pupillary light reflex is going to be the photoreceptors in the retina back here. And then the effector, the structure that acts as the effector in the pupillary light reflex is the iris here that's going to constrict or dilate as necessary to let more or less light in. And then the cranial nerves required for the pupillary light reflex are going to be cranial nerve 2, the optic nerve, and cranial nerve 3, the oculomotor nerve. And so that concludes that. I'll finish up the lab with the demonstration of the pupillary light reflex, and hope everyone has a good night. Thank you. So for the final portion of this lab, I'm going to be conducting the pupillary light reflex. As you can see, I don't have anything other than my list with my questions, and my subject is going to be my wife. So when you shine a bright light on the left eye, this isn't the right eye, but on the left eye, you can see that the pupil constricts. And then for question number 5, you shine a bright light on the left eye, the right pupil also constricts. I'll answer the rest of the questions inside the lab. Thank you.